Sunday afternoon, programming always, a couple of calls usually, so a couple of hours more work. Then I'll have some dinner. So as you know, next weekend we've got the
Burge to Burge.
Burge to Burge half marathon. So today we did the last long run of the prep, 12k, a little bit of race pace in there. So next week, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to do 3 short runs throughout the week, just because I'm going to bump my runs up to 3, and then we're going to do Hyrox as well. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to do like an easy 6 to 7k, just to get my steps in basically. And then I'll run you over the taper week. So big focus on sleep, recovery, good quality nutrition. As I say, we do have a couple of runs, but they're heavily reduced in terms of volume. So I'll run you over that, how we usually taper. And interestingly, Simon, who was doing the race as well, was saying that there's some research to show that a successful versus a per taper can result in a difference of 3 to 5 minutes on a race, which is quite significant on a half marathon. So I want to make sure we do it properly. I've definitely been guilty in the past of not tapering with the gym training too, lifting too heavy. So I'm going to be pulling down my intensity in the gym as well. Still going to smash upper body, but legs will be reduced. So that is the plan. Look at this lighting's unreal.
I just heard you say you're going for a run tomorrow,
Yeah.
but we go for a walk on a Monday morning.
Oh shit. Maybe I'll do both. I'll somehow fit both in, and then I'll have all my steps done.
Joe is forgetting about his girlfriend.
Nah, I probably need to cut there. So just at my standing desk now, I always rotate between sitting and standing, because realistically, if you're working for between 5 and 8 hours a day, which I do pretty much every day, 6 days a week, and you sit down, it can wreck your upper back, wreck your posture. So I've got one of these standing desks. I think I've shown this before, but it's got the electric, whatever you call, adjustment there. So as I say, I'll sit down for 45 minutes, then I'll put it up and stand. I also do this as well. I'll stand when I feel like I'm getting a little bit tired. It kind of like wakes me up. And then sometimes I'll even plug in the treadmill down there, the little walking pad. So sometimes I'll actually walk on that whilst working, whilst taking like calls with team or something like that. I wouldn't do check-ins on there, and I probably wouldn't do a sales call on there, but it is good to get moving, because it's tough to get steps in Dubai. Like, you have to actually go and do steps. You never walk anywhere. So to be honest, like, I find it quite hard to hit 10,000-12,000 steps a day, even though I do running as well. So I'll try and break that up into a walk in the morning, or run a walk in the evening. Obviously I'll walk around the gym a little bit, walk around the apartment, and then sometimes I have to do a few thousand steps on the walking pad as well. But that's what I try and do, is maintain between 10 and 12,000 steps a day. But realistically, if I put this extra run in my routine, that's going to bump it up again. So yeah, it's just about staying active and keeping that expenditure high. But what I'm doing now is client programming. So obviously we work with around, I think it's about 102 clients in the business with me and the coaches, but I work personally with around 35. So I control all their programming. So Sunday is the day of the week where I do all their programming. So I have like template frameworks of programs from like 3-day a week all the way up to like 5-day a week. And then I'll tailor the program according to like the client and any injuries that they have, any specific body parts that they want to work on. So we do obviously use a framework and a template, because it saves a lot of time, but every program that we have is fully tailored to the client, because that's really, really important. That's very much my background, is like tailored programming. Even when I was on the gym floor as a PT, not just giving generic workouts to everyone. It doesn't work. You don't get the best results. But yeah, just going to crack on with this, and I have a call in an hour's time. Okay, so it's Monday morning now. Just done a super easy 5k with Misha. Average pace was like 6:30, so average heart rate was very low as well. I think it was 113. So basically just a super easy recovery run there. Basically just hitting my steps. I've already hit like 8,000 steps today, so it means I don't need to go out and do that later on. But routine for today is I'm going to get into about 2 hours of check-ins now. Then I'm going to have breakfast. Then I'm going to do a bit more check-ins, head to the gym, do my push session. Try and get in the sauna if it's fixed. The last time I was at that gym, it was broken on Saturday, so I hope it's fixed, because It's going to be a big focus on recovery this week for the taper. This is kind of the topic of the video. So managed to get 7 hours and 15 minutes of actual quality sleep on Whoop last night, which is great. I think realistically, if I can hit 7 hours and 15 plus each night this week, I've put myself in a really, really good position. I'd be lying if I said that I always get 7 hours plus of sleep, just with the way that my job is, taking calls late and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to try and aim for that this week. Got a couple of calls this evening with a couple of clients in the US. Well, one client call in the US and then a consultation call in the US. So basically going to try and get all my check-ins done hopefully before about 4 p.m. So I'm going to crack on now. Monday is busy, just loads of client fulfillment work in terms of check-ins and programming. So I'm going to get that done, and then I will check in when I have my first meal, which will probably be eggs and sourdough with some tomatoes if we've got them in. But now, post-run, I'm just having a Pocari Sweat. It's about 30 grams of carbs with some Humantra electrolytes, and then I'll probably have some pineapple as well. So big focus on high carb at the moment in general, just for my training, and this week as well, to make sure that glycogen stores are fully topped up going into the race on Sunday. Friday and Saturday I will bump my carbs up to probably 500, 550, just again to make sure that I'm fully loaded and fully fueled for the race on Sunday. So that is the plan. Just on my way to the gym now. Realised I didn't record my breakfast, but it's pretty much the same every day. Loads of sourdough bread, 2 whole eggs, and then about 200 grams of egg whites, and then that was it actually. And I've got some pineapple post-workout, and I'll probably get some chicken and rice and some veg as well. Keeping it super clean, super easy to digest. We'll be going into the weekend feeling fantastic. So today I've got push day, but it's like heavy focus on chest and triceps. The only shoulder movement I'm doing is lateral raises, because I hit my vertical pressing movement, which at the moment is seat shoulder press machine. I do that on my full upper body day, which is on Saturday. So today's basically chest tries, a little bit of side delts. Gonna try and get in the sauna if I can, if it's working. And then I'll do a little bit of work at the gym as well. So that is the plan. I will try and get I will get some clips of me training as well. I'll get some landscape content for YouTube, and I'm gonna get some portrait stuff for Instagram as well, because I'm trying to put more raw content out on Instagram as well. But yeah, just gonna drive to the gym. It's about 15 minutes away. Just on the topic of training as well, obviously we've got this half marathon this weekend, and I think sometimes when you prep for a race you can't wait for it to be over, but this prep is the opposite for me, to be honest. I've absolutely loved it. I've literally followed it to the T, to the absolute dial, no sessions missed. Every single target race segment, whatever you want to call it, has been hit on this prep, every single workout. And I've seen the progression, obviously not crazy increases in time and pace. I think it's unrealistic when I'm just doing 3 runs a week and when I am 5 years into it. But for me, I think I mentioned it before on the channel, my weakness is holding what I would call fast paces, around threshold. So around kind of that 4 minutes, that 4-minute 15 has kind of been my weakness. I can run fast, I can run fast kilometer splits, and I can run for a long time, but it's that kind of tempo threshold pace that I've struggled with in the past. But I've built a lot of confidence doing that on these longer runs in this prep, and as soon as we get this one out of the way, we're going to prep for Hyrox. But I've only been doing 3 runs a week at the moment, so I'm going to keep that up for Hyrox, but then we're going to do a Hyrox session as well. So the endurance part of my training split will be an aerobic longer run on the weekend, but we probably won't go any more than 90 minutes, just zone 2, low zone 3. Then we're going to do a hard interval session on a Wednesday to keep building that speed, which will be good for Hyrox. and then we're going to do a High Rocks specific session on a Friday, and then on a Monday morning I'm going to do like a really small short recovery run between 5 and 7 and 8k, but literally keeping my heart rate like below 140, so it's literally just active recovery like I did this morning, because I'm loving it at the moment. I'm loving the running. My physique is in a really good spot as well. I'm building strength, but I really want to take my running to like the next level over the next year. And I think we're thinking of doing, well, we are going to do Barcelona Marathon next March, which is 13 months away. So I'd really like to go sub 3 next March. I wanted to go sub 3 this year, ended up pulling out of the prep for various reasons, but I wanted to kind of prioritize business and stuff like that. But I think by next year I want to be in a good spot to achieve that and dedicate the time to it. But I think realistically, thinking back, I was not in sub 3 shape. I think like it's hard to run a marathon at 4:15, and that's kind of like probably hopefully just above what my half marathon pace is at the moment. But if we look at a marathon prep in general, probably 4 months prep, 16 weeks. So that would mean that we would start prepping for that race probably in November this year, which gives me another 9-10 months to just get fit, base build, 1 speed session a week, majority of the runs easy aerobic, and I think I'll hopefully be fit enough to then do it next year. So that's the plan this year. Get better at running, keep doing it, keep enjoying the process, keep documenting it on the channel. Obviously the priority is always going to be physique and the way I look, but if I can layer on top of that with the running and build fitness, then I'm happy. So that's going to be the focus. Yes, guys, just finishing up the majority of my work for today. So it's 5:30. I have a call at 6:30 with a client, and then I have a consultation call at 7:30 with a prospect, obviously. So I'm actually gonna have my dinner now, which is a little bit early. Probably having dinner just before 6, but I'd rather have it at 6 than cook at 8 and realistically be eating it at 8:30, because I find that it messes up my sleep and my digestion if I have it too late. So you can do that now. Just got to schedule an email, post on LinkedIn, and then that is it for today. So tomorrow I've actually got a really, really busy morning. I'm going to get up at 6. I've got a call with a client at 7 a.m. So I'm basically going to start work at 6:30, and I'm pretty much going to be flat out from 6:30 until 12:30, so like 6 hours. I'm not even sure I'm going to have time to go and do steps. I might be able to get out and do half an hour. But yeah, it's just going to be flat out. It's just the way that my calls have wrapped up tomorrow. I've had 2 people book in the morning from the US, so I have a couple of slots open early morning for US, and then a couple of slots open in the evening for US as well. So they're basically the opposite of Dubai. Like if it's their morning, then it's my evening, and vice versa. But yeah, a good day, a lot done. As I say, flat out tomorrow, but I will take a little bit of time off tomorrow afternoon to get some sun and train. And I've not actually got anything booked in tomorrow night, which is quite nice. I'd rather take calls in the morning, get it done. And it means I can just enjoy my gym session tomorrow afternoon and stuff like that. I'm going to try and get in the sauna because the one today at the gym was broken still, and I definitely need to get in at least twice this week, preferably 3. So I might need to go to a different gym tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to get this food down me. I'm going to cook a steak, so I might video it as well. So it's now Tuesday, just clocked, well I did clock another 7 hours and 15 minutes of sleep last night on Whoop, which I'm really pleased with because that's 2 nights in a row where I've had a good amount, and there's no reason why I shouldn't get a good amount tomorrow as well. Well, tonight, because I've nothing to get up for really early in the morning. I had a call at 7 this morning with a client, so I got up at 6. So again, I should be able to clock probably 7.5 tonight and should be feeling fantastic by the weekend. I've actually got a really, really sore throat. I'm not really sure why. It's not affecting my recovery or my training or my energy, but I've just had a really sore throat for almost a week. So I'm hoping that clears up over the next few days. Realistically, I've still been training just as hard, so it might have gone away a little bit quicker if I pulled the intensity down, but as I say, it's not affecting my work in any way whatsoever. So yeah, hopefully that clears up. But basically I had that client call this morning at 7, and then I had a consultation call at 8 o'clock. That was actually I guess it was like a second call for someone I had an initial consultation call with back in, I think it was October. He's basically from the US, Colorado. He'd been working with a personal trainer for I think it was 5 or 6 years, built up loads of muscle mass, but wasn't really happy with his body composition. So he wants to lean down now. So he's just basically finishing up with his PT, and he's going to come on with us at the start of March. So took a deposit down just to secure his spot for next month. We always do that. If someone's not going to come on board within the next probably 3 weeks, I'd say we'll always look to just take a small holding deposit just to make sure they're serious and just so that we know our numbers going into next month. But a really good example of not pushing that person. It wasn't the right time for him to come on board last year. And I just said, look, let's just stay in touch over Christmas and New Year. We'll get another call booked in January when you're ready. And he's already put the deposit down already. So yeah, happy with that. And he's going to be a great client to work with. Classic example of wanting to lean down and improve body composition, but he's just not tracking his nutrition. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, is really educate him on that. I think a lot of people just kind of underestimate the level that you need to go to with your nutrition to get in really, really good shape. And we're not talking just lose 20 pounds or something. We're talking, getting someone down to 12% body fat and below. I don't think you're going to be able to do that without tracking your nutrition. I think that's a key understanding that a lot of people don't realise, to be honest. And again, I think a lot of people think that tracking nutrition is obsessive. It's not. It's an educational process where you learn how much food you need to consume for your goals, and I think a lot of people would benefit from doing that. But I'm going to do some more check-ins now, then have a call with, 2 team calls, one with my setter from Instagram and then one with the coaches as well, and then I have another consultation call after that, and then that's all the calls done for today. So I'm going to go down to the pool, get an hour of sun, because I pretty much I will have been back to back for 6 hours. And then I'm going to go and do my leg session this afternoon. Me and Misha are going to go to Wellfit and train there, but it's going to be a heavily reduced session in terms of volume. As I mentioned, the theme for this video is obviously work and taper week as well. So I'm going to be bringing down the weights, just going through the motions really today. And I'm actually going to set myself up with a new program from next week. I chose to stop working with the coach that I've been working with at the moment, which I'll go into in another video, not for any reason other than I simply want to do my own programming for a change. I've worked with a coach for the last 4 years, and I've also always worked off other people's programs. Obviously, it's great for education, but I think I want to kind of trial and test a few things that I can then bring to the team and and bring to our clients as well. But anyway, I'm going to get these check-ins done. Then I'm going to have breakfast. So I might video that. I realise I've been terrible at videoing the meals that I've been cooking, but to be honest, they're always pretty similar. It's eggs, sourdough, tomatoes, steak for dinner usually, and then I'll usually get a meal prep. I'll either order in or eat at the gym. But yeah, I'll check in a bit. In other news, actually, I forgot to mention that we got a client off LinkedIn the other day, which is great because I basically hired someone that I've worked with in the past to help me with LinkedIn outreach and do some conversations on there. And we had a sign up, as I say, the guy signed up last night. He's a consultant from, I think he's from New York. Going to be a really good fit, kind of like our typical customer, people that we help, people who are busy, don't have too much time to train. We're talking about doing probably just 3 strength sessions a week with him, and he travels a lot for work as well. So that was his main reservation when speaking to me and thinking about coming on board was, can we actually help him when he travels? And obviously that's really what we specialize in. I would say 50% of our clients travel quite frequently, whether that's just in the US or internationally as well. But really good to see that we can literally just start using a platform like less than 2 weeks ago, and we signed someone up within, I think it was 10 days. And that's literally like putting no work into it to getting someone on there, onboarding them, having the conversations, having the sales call and signing them up. So that's what I call, proof of concept. It works now. So now we need to be consistent with it and potentially scale it as well. But it's really good to see because Instagram's great, but all my clients, like they live on LinkedIn. Like they're all in these kind of like high pressure corporate jobs, whether that's running their own business or working for someone else. And we just never been able to kind of like target them in the past. So we're going to put proper effort into LinkedIn now and hopefully get a few clients each month from there. Because I think as well, it's not good to rely just on one platform, Instagram, for your entire business. Hence why I'm doing LinkedIn and YouTube as well. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And I think that as well is a good example of like acting fast. I mentioned probably my last vlog or maybe the one before. I literally thought about doing that, hired her within a day, had it on the platform within 2 days, and then we signed up a client within 10 days. And there's always going to be a lag. There's always going to be a delayed effect of when we actually start doing the work to when we see the results. And obviously the wheel's turning now, so we just need to keep it up. So if you're procrastinating on something and you know you need to do it, then just go and do it. Morning view. Hey mate. Getting a taxi to the gym today because I cannot be fucked to drive, and the taxis here are so cheap. This will cost me like £4 to get to the address. So this hotel I'm going to is unreal. Like it's so aesthetic. The gym, it's an average gym, but it looks really nice. And then there's a nice pool. So I've brought my breakfast with me, so I'm gonna eat that post-workout, but I'm gonna try and get some clips of the workout and I'll round up after. Chilling at the address now, doing a little bit of work. I've just had a call with my team from Instagram, just been going over a few leads, a few conversations that we've been having with people, booking people in for calls, and now I'm just replying to a bunch of client messages. As I said in the past, Wednesday is more of a chill day of work, so just admin, planning content, responding to clients. I do have a couple of check-ins to do later on that have come in late from US clients, but it is what it is. And I'm also just planning out, thinking of doing a summer program for our coaching, like a slightly shorter term program for summer, like a 90-day sprint to get in the best shape of your life for summer. So I've been speaking to my mentor Dan about that, and we're gonna map it out in our next strategy meeting next week. So I'm not sure I've mentioned it actually too much on the channel, but ever since I became an online coach, I've always worked with mentors. Obviously when I was PTing, I I had about 25 online clients at the same time. I didn't work with mentor back then, but ever since I went fully online, I've always worked with mentors. I've worked with a couple of the bigger ones, Mark Coles, Charlie Johnson, but I'm actually working with Darren Lawrence at the moment. He is a mentor, but he doesn't really kind of brand himself as that. He is very much still a high performance coach. Like, in my opinion, probably like top 5 coaches in the world, working with CEOs, charging a really high amount of money for his services. And actually just been friends with him, known him for about a year, met him in Dubai, and I just asked him whether he would help me and mentor me, and we've been working together for the last, I think, 4.5 months. And it's been great to work with someone who is still doing it at the highest level themselves and not just teaching you kind of like the theory, because the industry changes a lot, like literally every 6 months, and a lot of these mentors that are mentoring people at the moment, they haven't actually coached anyone in fitness for years, and they don't have fitness businesses anymore. So I question their ability to provide proper advice sometimes. So it's really good to work with someone who, again, is still doing it at the absolute highest level, has got a lot of skin in the game. But yeah, I definitely recommend investing into a coach or a mentor to get you to that next level. I've always done that, always worked with coaches, whether it's online personal training coaches or mentors or health coaches, whatever it is. I've spent literally like well over £60,000 at this stage over the last 4 years on my own education and that side of things. Just in the sauna now, switched over to the iPhone. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay, but it is Thursday now, so this is my posterior training session of the week, so essentially the back of you. So a little bit of lower body training, quite a lot of upper body training as well, so all back movements and glute and hamstring work, so RDLs, walking lunges, hamstring curls, and 3 back movements. So I did pull-ups, chest supported row, and pull downs, just 2 working sets on most of the movements, and I did all my mobility stuff at the start of the session, but I just pulled back on volume and intensity across all the movements today because it is Thursday, and I know it probably won't make too much of a difference going to failure or close to failure on upper body for a race on Sunday, but I want my body to be in the absolute best position to perform well on Sunday, because I only do like 2 races a year, so I really want to nail it. And if I can get my body into just a relaxed state, ready to perform, then it might make, the extra little bit of difference. Hence why I'm in the sauna as well. I haven't actually managed to get into the sauna this week yet, just because it's been broken at the gym I usually go to, but I usually try and get in minimum twice a week, preferably 3. So this is phone actually ended up overheating and turning off there, so I'm obviously just taking a bit of a break now. 2 minutes out, straight back in, do another 10 minutes, and then I'll be at least 30 minutes boxed off this week, and unfortunately this will probably be the only session I do. But yeah, just want to nail it on the weekend, so the focus for the rest of the week is recovery. Tomorrow and Saturday, pushing 500 grams of carbs in. I'll probably pull protein down a little bit just to help with digestion, and that'll be me fully locked and loaded for Sunday. I'll do just probably 5 or 6k easy tomorrow, and I've got a light upper body session on Saturday. But yeah, that'll be it, and I'm glad that it's only a short one tomorrow because I've got like 4 calls in the morning tomorrow, so it's going to be a tiring day of calls and check-ins. But yeah, catch you later on. So I'm actually going to round this vlog off here. It's getting quite long. I think we've got almost half an hour of footage already, and one of the main aims of this video is to document the taper, which, a huge important part of that is the carb load for the race, which is going to start tomorrow. I'm going to try and get in between 500 to 550 grams of carbs in on Friday, Saturday to race on Sunday. So I'm going to round the video off here, and I'll check in again tomorrow with more of a nutrition focus.